are giving the best and most practical, actionable insights. The Radio Forum of the German National Broadcasting Corporation. It is a good morning and welcome to the Dalama Insights Radio Show. This is your go-to show for practical advice on personal finance as well as building wealth. Today is a bit of a special program because it's our final show for 2024. And of course, we've got a special topic, something impactful for you to close out the year on a high note. So we're not just saying goodbye this year, but we're setting you up for a powerful start to 2025. Now, with me in the studio is our resident expert, Mokonki Mkonkela from Insight Partners. Konki, it is good morning and welcome to the show.
Good morning, Leslie. How are you doing?
I'm well, very well, thank you. And how are you?
I'm good. And good morning, listeners and viewers online. Today, we're looking at a very exciting program, Leslie.
Mhm.
I would like us to end the year on some actionable steps that you can take so that when you begin 2025, you can actually begin on a fresh start and you're ready to become an investor. You won't just be, sitting between the lines. You're going to be ready to jump and start investing. So that's what this program is about today.
Yes, and it just takes time. People don't know, but if you just sacrifice 6 months to a year and you decide to focus on one thing, you usually will get it done. So we have the whole of 2025 to get some of these things done.
Yeah.
Mukonki, you've always emphasized the importance of having clear goals.
Mhm.
What is setting a 2025 financial goal? Why is it the first step?
So when you are setting goals, it's like you're creating a roadmap for your financial success. So you're thinking ahead in terms of what you want to achieve, your overall goal, so that you do not just wander about aimlessly, but you have a target goal that you're aiming for in that particular year. And so when it comes to investing, particularly for 2025, I would want you to maintain your focus. And therefore, it's very important that you create 2025 financial goals so that you are focused and motivated and you have a goal to attain at the end of the year, so that when it comes to December 2025, you can actually look back the previous months and see what you've achieved because you had set this goal. And so that is what goal setting really should be about when it comes to thinking about the year ahead, which is 2025, which, by the way, is due in 21 days.
Yes, we're already done with this year. Actually.
Yeah.
But when it comes to financial goals, what does a good financial goal look like?
So those that are planning, in fact, if you're listening in this morning, I really want you to take notes today. For 2025, for you to set good financial goals, they have to be smart goals. So you need to be very, very specific. Rather than just saying, I want to be an investor next year, I need to start investing. You actually need to set a goal, a target. Perhaps you could say, I want to set aside 5,000 so that I can start investing 5,000 by the end of December 2025. So I should have at least 5,000 in investments by the end of December 2025. Or I need to buy shares worth 10,000 kwacha in this company by the end of 2025. So this is a goal that is specific, that is achievable, that is attainable. It's not a huge amount of money. So, and it is also measurable and time bound. It is a smart goal. So that is how you need to start setting your goals. So this is just an example of one goal. You can run through your life and set similar goals. What's important is for you to have a specific amount, a timeline, an achievable amount, and attainable, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, what if someone doesn't really know where to start from? That's always the hardest part. How to start, where to start, when to start.
So there are three things that you need to look at when you're confused about where to start. And in fact, there's a framework, Leslie. We discussed it this year during one of the programs. It's called the PATH framework. For those that want some kind of, structure in terms of how they go about attaining financial freedom, there's the PATH framework. It simply stands for plan, act, the path. Yeah. So if you go through these steps, the path framework, it should be able to help you attain your goals. I'll complete the other two letters later on. But you can think about three things basically. What do I want to achieve in 2025? So you're thinking about your goal. And also, how much can I realistically set in terms of investing? And then the final one is, what small steps can I start taking starting from today? So that is all part of the plan. when you're thinking about that path framework that I'm referring to. So these are some of the steps that you can, or questions that you can start asking yourself as you're planning for next year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now that is the motivational side of the conversation. Now we get into the actual practical side of the conversation. Okay. Let's talk about the Central Securities Depository Account, CSD. I think this is something that becomes part of your language once you get into investments.
Yeah.
What is it, and why is it crucial for investing?
So another actionable step you need to take before the year ends, this is before 31st December, is for you to open a CSD account. A CSD account is very fundamental when it comes to making investments in GRZ bonds. And for you to do this, you simply need to go to the BOZ website and you're going to find the investor portal. Okay, when you're on the investor portal, you put in your details and fill in a form, an online form, and attach your tip-in certificate, a soft copy of your passport size photo, a copy of your NRC, and your signature mandate. So in fact, I encourage you to prepare these in advance. So there are 4 things that you need to prepare in advance. It's basically your passport size photo, tip-in certificate, signature mandate, and tip-in certificate. So when you have these, you can complete the CSD form, and very quickly, actually, this works very fast. Your CSD account will be activated, meaning that from January, you can now start buying GRZ bonds. So this is a goal that you need to set before the year ends. Create a CSD account, and by simply visiting the BOZ website.
Okay. Now the next step after this is basically finding a brokerage account. What role does a broker play in investing?
So again, if you don't have a brokerage account and you're interested in making investments in shares, particularly in shares, you need to go to the LUCE or the SEC website and look for regulated brokers. These brokers are simply middlemen that will help you execute your buying and selling options in terms of shares of companies listed on the Lusaka Securities Exchange. So a broker is very important for that purpose. How do you go about creating a brokerage account? Once you pick a broker from the list of regulated brokers that you find on the LUCE or SEC, contact them. Nowadays, you can even create a brokerage account by online. You don't even need to visit them. So you need to make phone calls and ask for the form, complete the form, send it back. Of course, they'll also ask you for certain prerequisites like your NRC and tip-ins and other things that they may request for, which you should have, by the way. If you have a bank account with any Zambian commercial bank, you should have these things. So just attach those things, send it to the broker. Again, for within a short period of time, you should be able to get your brokerage account. So another very important account you need to have opened. I know for many people, we are accustomed to having bank accounts, but we rarely think about the CSD account and the brokerage accounts. But these are not actually bank accounts. Okay, like for the CSD account, it's simply a record of your investments in government securities. For the brokerage account, you cannot trade in shares, buying and selling shares on the secondary market without this brokerage account. So very important that you have this. I must also state that before the end of the year, also download the LUCE app, because the LUCE app, for those that are interested in making investments in shares, is going to enable you to buy and sell shares simply from your phone. It's as easy as that. So if you are interested, if you are eager to become an investor in 2025, before the year ends, these 2 accounts must be part of your portfolio. Really, you need to have them opened.
Okay. How do how do you then choose the right broker when you decide to open a brokerage account?
This is a very important question, Leslie, in terms of who should I choose as a broker? And for me, from my experience, particularly this year, really, they're not so different from each other. You see, one thing that would really excite me from these brokers is access to useful information on the companies that are listed on the LUCE. So if you're able to, as you do your research and ask questions in terms of the brokers that you are seeking, find out what kind of information they'll be sending you regularly with regards to the performance of the companies that are listed on the Lusaka Securities Exchange. Because as you make your decision to buy a share, you are going to be looking at the performance of these companies, the profitability, and by performance, I'm actually referring to the profitability, the earnings per share, the dividend yield, might sound technical. These are things we'll continue learning about as the new year comes forth. But basically, if you're able to find a broker who's able to give you useful financial information, that is very important, as well as support. But also review the fees, the brokerage fees. Even though most of them are standard fees, really, there could be other hidden fees that you need to find out if there are any extra fees that the broker charges. So ask them questions and find out these things. Otherwise, from my experience, majority brokers are really not different from each other. We still don't have brokers that are able to give us, world-class databases of information where we're able to see technical graphs of companies' performances. And this for me is something that's a little bit frustrating. And I hope young people are listening. This is the kind of technical analysis information we need on the companies listed on the LUCE that is not yet available in Zambia. So, hey, here's the challenge for you.
Okay. When you say it, it sounds like a lot of work, but can all this be done in December? And is it as hard as it sounds?
Leslie, I've mentioned just a few things. So if you like, for you yourself, Leslie, if you really want to be an investor, there are simple things that I'm giving you right now. The first thing is think about your financial goals when it comes to 2025, so that by December this year we'll be reviewing what we've achieved. And I'm taking a break. This is the last program for 2024. For my personal finances, during the break, I'm reviewing what I've achieved, and I'm also thinking about 2025 and what I would want to achieve. And I don't want to brag here, but I've actually achieved quite a lot in 2024. And I'm excited. I'm looking forward to 2025 because you see, I look at it as climbing a ladder. And I feel like I've climbed this year. I've actually climbed quite a lot of steps on the ladder, regardless of the challenges that have come my way. And this is how you should also be reflecting every year, because you started with a financial goal. The second thing I've told you, Leslie, is simply to open a CSD account. And this is very simple. Go to BOZ. If those of you that are listening to me, within the next 30 minutes, go to BOZ. You are going to have a CSD account activated. I assure you, guaranteed, as long as you have those prerequisite documents. And the third thing I've asked you to do is the brokerage account. The brokerage account might take a few weeks because of the back and forth with the brokers, but it's also something you're able to do within 10 days maximum if you're dealing with a good broker. So very few things, Lazy.
And you can do all of them sitting in front of your computer.
You don't even need to go anywhere. Right in your computer, as you're sitting in front of your computer, as you've said, Leslie. Isn't that, for me, I've said there's never been a best time for you to become an investor, either in Zambian bonds or shares.
And it's about starting. Okay, now when we talk about starting, many people think you need a lot of money to start investing. But what's the actual truth?
That's a huge misconception. The actual truth is you can start with as little as 500 kwacha, even 100 kwacha if you want to buy shares, depending on the share price of the company you are interested in. You can start. Download the LUCE app. Download the LUCE app every morning. Check the prices of the shares of companies listed there. You can start with 500 kwacha. And you see, starting small is actually the best advice you can get, because as you start small, you gain confidence, you see the benefit, and then you start adding on more amounts to your investments. So it is a big misconception that you need to have a lot of money to start investing. So and by the way, as December comes, I know you guys have a lot of money, bonuses, 13th checks. I don't know what else you've made. Set aside some money for investments. Don't just spend that money on festivities, because that money for investing, beginning January, you can buy your first bond. By the way, you can actually buy your first bond before the end of the year. The December auction, you can participate in a bond. You can even start in January if you like, having set aside some money from the December bonuses and 13th checks that you're all getting. So it's as easy as that.
And what's the benefit of starting small?
The benefit, as I've said, Leslie, is really about you testing the waters. Many people are risk averse. They're afraid of losing money. So, but what if I buy this and I don't see the return? So starting small helps you to test the waters, and it also helps you to spend money that you cannot afford to lose. Because when it comes to investing, you need to spend money that you cannot afford to lose, or that you can live with for at least some time. So that is why you need to start with small amounts, and then every month set aside, add on, so that it's compounding and it's growing. And as you do this, you are learning and you're gaining the confidence. And I think that's the most important thing, because many of us are very hesitant. Like I am with cryptocurrencies, by the way, Leslie. Like right now, I cannot buy any cryptos because I don't know much about it.
Yeah.
But if I had to have an opportunity, because I love to test things, I would buy one crypto and see what is this, there's a lot of excitement about cryptocurrencies out there, but I would also want to see why are people so excited about these things. So start with one and see how it works out. And then as you see how it's working out, you start gaining confidence, you start adding more money, and you never know. It could be it.
Yeah, could be the one thing that makes you a millionaire. All right, now, Konke, why is it important to separate money for investments from, other funds?
It's important for you to set aside money for investments from other funds, because it helps you not to spend all the money without paying yourself first. When you set aside money for investment, this is what we refer to as paying yourself first. Because that money, once invested, we expect it to make returns that are going to grow and compound in future, that are eventually going to overtake the income that you are currently making from your regular jobs or 9 to 7 jobs or from your small business. It's the investments that are actually eventually going to overtake these amounts that you make. And so prioritize setting aside money for investment. And how can you do this? Because today we're talking about actions. Instruct your bankers to do a deduct. Whenever you get paid, automatically deduct a small amount of money that goes to a savings, an investment account. By the way, this is another account I want you to open before the year ends. Open a separate account with your bank. You're going to call this account an investment account. This is the account where you'll be diverting any money that you make to this account for investments, so that when the investment account has a good amount of money, let's say 5,000, you can simply log into the CST account, buy a bond, or log into the Luce app, buy a share. Next year you'll be enjoying dividends and dividends and coupons. Ask me about it.
Yeah, right? Because I'm the sugar is paying 100 and okay, you know what?
So do that.
It feels good. 14,000 now, 17,000 times, 18,000 shares times. It feels good. It's almost as if it's free money, and yet you really did buy the shares.
No, it does feel like free money, but it's money that
you bought. You
that
invested.
It's money that you've invested that is working for you while you do nothing.
Yeah, that's what makes it extra special. Anyway, unfortunately, we're out of time, so we can't really go very far. Okay, these steps have been very actionable, and thank you very much for coming through. But I know people will still want to be in touch, and people still want to get, in touch with you, even as we're going through these holidays, when they have questions and you would like help, consultancy, anything like that. How do people get in touch with you?
So with me, Leslie, now we are quite active on WhatsApp. So even during the holidays, the WhatsApp group is quite busy. So you can join our WhatsApp group. I'll share the link in this video, which you'll find on YouTube. You can also join and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Look for Mukonki Mkonkela. Everything we've been talking about this year, we've been recording it, Leslie. So you can go back and watch everything and catch up. So that is how you connect with me. It's through WhatsApp. I'll share the link, and through YouTube. I'll do one more nice special video for YouTube, not in the ZNBC studio, in my own unique, nice studio. I have a very nice studio.
Full growth. Okay. I'm Konki. Anyway, thank you very much for making time to be with us on the show today. It's been a pleasure having you. Until next year.
Thanks, Leslie. I'll miss you, by the way. I'll miss you so much. And all of you online. There are 19 people watching live right now. I'll miss all of you.
The joys of radio is we are not on a break, so you will listen to us every day.
Yeah.
So good morning. You're listening to Radio 4 of the Zama National Broadcasting Corporation. Ndalama Insights will be back next year. You have been listening to